All right, guys, we're talking about the most potent, supercharged, intense fragrances that you can wear in the summertime. Today in this video, you're going to want to stick around to find out what they are. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian talking to you about fragrances to wear this summer, the ones that are going to last the longest, the ones that are going to be the most potent, most intense fragrances. And these are the ones that are really awesome. I've tested them and they do last a long time and they really shine in the heat. Some of the fragrances are freshies with an extra added touch, meaning they're not like super thin and fleeting. They're not, flowy, ethereal things. They're pretty dense and intense. These are the ones you're going to want to wear if you want longevity. So let's go ahead and get started with the list. I'm going to talk to you about the fragrance from the house of ZERNELL GILLIE called Disco. So ZERNELL GILLIE's Disco is a favorite fragrance of mine from this house. I actually did a video on 3 of their fragrances, but still, even though they have 6 or 7 fragrances now, Disco is still my favorite. I actually took it to LA during the Art and Olfaction Awards. I wore it there and really enjoyed its experience in the heat. Super long lasting, intense. It's a freshie, but with deeper touches. There's fresh ambery notes in here. There's tea and lavender and saffron. There's vanillic notes and spices and earthy notes. You name it. There's a lot of things going on in here, but for me, this stuff is so amazing. Smells super awesome. It's fresh, but with a lot of intensity and longevity. If you like these kind of fragrances, please check it out. There's a bit of a molecular thing happening in there as well, a little bit like ambroxan. They mentioned amber, but I'm getting a bit of like ambroxan, which kind of prolongs the life of the fragrance as well. But it's super awesome. Disco from the house of ZERNELL GILLIE. So I've got 3 fragrances back to back from PROFUMUM ROMA. First of which is ACQUA VIVA. So ACQUA VIVA is a tart citric take on like a lemon fragrance with some deeper aromatic woody notes thrown in as well. It's kind of like a lemon drop or a lemon lozenge. If you like that kind of tart, sweet, lemony experience, you're going to want to wear this one. I find that the lemony fragrances are some of the best to wear when it's hot and humid outside. There's just kind of a subconscious quality about them cooling you off. And that tartness, the sour astringency really does that for me. Then we're talking about ORANGEA. And ORANGEA is meaning or referring to the orange, but in this case, it's the leaves of the orange tree, the Petitgrain, and it's kind of bitter, green, earthy, woody, but an overdose of citruses in here with the Petitgrain note, bergamot, cedar, and mint. So good. Once again, it shines in the heat. I bought this from the PROFUMUM ROMA store boutique in Rome. It was in the warmth of early September. It was hot and humid, and this thing shined, and it was awesome, and I love the way it smells. Again, it's intense and very long lasting, and all of the fragrances from PROFUMUM ROMA really have great longevity, and also you can rub your hands if you want. You don't have to, because they are linear fragrances. They don't have top and base notes, and all the notes are broken down into one line. So we've got another and final fragrance from the house of PROFUMUM ROMA. This is a green fig leaf fragrance. This is called ICHNUSA. I don't know if you guys are aware or familiar with that one. It's an awesome fragrance with fig leaves and fig tree. There's also myrtle, grass, and hay. Oh, it's super green, really lovely. It's almost like you're standing under a fig tree next to the ivy kind of, side of a park or something. And not only are you smelling the warm fig leaves, you're also smelling the warm ivy there. And it's really an awesome take on a green fragrance, but highlighting the fig leaves and the fig tree itself for extremely fresh but green, woody, earthy experience. Let me know if you're familiar with ICHNUSA. Add a comment below. Let's go to the house of NISHANE next. It's HACIVAT. Really super potent fragrance from this house. Really long lasting. But it is on that kind of screechy, woody, metallic side. It's very ice cold, and it's perfect for the hot days, of course. And this is kind of a staple for a lot of folks who want or like AVENTUS, but they complain about the longevity. They are different, even though it's kind of a similar idea. Again, this is very ice cold and very screechy metallic. A lot of pineapple. There's grapefruit in here. There's patchouli, mossy notes, floral notes, and things like that. But it's a super long-lasting, cooling fragrance for the summertime. It's HACIVAT from the house of NISHANE. It's fruity for sure. There's some additional fruits in comparison to the pineapple note in there as well. And something kind of similar as well, it's Intense Cedar Boisé. This is also quite long lasting from the house of Mancera. It's kind of their own version of AVENTUS once again, but this time it's chock full of lots of juicy, pulpy kind of citruses with some additional fruity notes, and there's also leather here, woody notes and things like that. There's definitely the oak moss in here as well. I find this one not as screechy as the HACIVAT. There's a kind of a smooth and creamy, pulpy fruit, like a citrus pulpy kind of effect happening here, which is quite nice. This does get deeper and more intense in the dry down, the leather, and there's also oud here, so it's much deeper than the OG of this. But if you can tolerate it, this is a really long-lasting take on a citrusy fragrance. So it's intense Cedar Boisé from the house of Mancera. Let me know if you're familiar with that. So we're going to the house of Kajal next. This is Kajal 3, this one right here. So Kajal 3 is kind of a take on that Tigar DNA. It's zingy, it's spicy, it's ambery. But this compared to Tigar or Vibrato, there's a kind of like a creamy, milky undertone here. I'm not sure what's creating that, but it's a kind of a fresh breath of fresh air, and it gives me a longer lasting quality in comparison to Tigar. I love Tigar. I love it. The originality of that fragrance created by Jacques Cavalier. It's not the longest lasting fragrance. Here we've got a much longer lasting fragrance. It also shines and smells wonderful in the heat. There's a ginger, grapefruit, there's lemon zest, lemon soda, neroli, musk. Of course there's ambroxan, amber, lavender, patchouli. So I think it's the amber in here that gives me that kind of creamy effect, which is a really awesome experience next to all those really zingy notes like ginger and grapefruit and the lemon and things like that. It's really awesome experience here. Kajal 3, let me know if you've sampled that one. This is one of my favorite fragrances, and this is definitely the favorite of this house. This is Lumari's Porthole, which we featured in a Scent Club kit. Just keep in mind the bottles have been changed for this house, and hopefully I can get my hands on the new bottle very soon, but this is Lumari's Porthole. It's a salty, also once again kind of creamy, fruity fragrance. It's pineapple, bergamot, salt, and ginger, passion fruit, white flowers, and caramel. The caramel is kind of key here, and even though caramel can come off very sugary sweet, it just adds a nice layer of sweetness to the fragrance, and more smoothness to the fragrance. It is lots of salt here. It creates not a marine experience, but a salty, almost sea breeze kind of experience, minus the marine touches, which is really awesome, because at first with the blue and the fact that it's called Porthole, I thought this was going to be extremely marine, but it's not. It's a really awesome, fruity, salty fragrance to wear in the summertime. Lumari's Porthole, if you haven't tried that, please do. It's quite awesome and very, very long lasting on me. The next one is Carioca Heart from the house of Juicebox. Juicebox's Carioca Heart shines in the heat, and even though this might come off maybe a bit too warm for warm days, but for me it's not thick and dense, and there's a lot of notes in here that really elevate and amplify off of your skin and create a really nice sillage. Great longevity with this one as well. Created by Julian Rasquinet. It has mango, peony, pineapple. There's lemon, sandalwood. There's rum and laburnum. Laburnum is creating the ambery effect. It has great longevity. There's a booziness in there, of course. The creamy sandalwood. It's smooth and really super delicious. Really kind of on the fun side as well. A bit playful, but mature enough to enjoy and not kind of put you in this kind of a childish mood or something. But Carioca Heart is really awesome from the house of Juicebox. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then we're going to the house of Maison Crivelli. It's Tuberose Astral. I know I'm throwing this one in here because it is a tuberose focused fragrance, and I consider tuberose as a note more of a fresh note, but this might come off a bit intense and maybe overwhelming and a bit too warm because it does have cinnamon bark here. In addition to the tuberose, there's osmanthus, carrot seeds, cistus, musks, and vanilla. I really love it in the heat. It shines and it really amplifies and intensifies with the heat and projects off of you like there's no tomorrow, and it smells super sexy and amazing. Definitely my favorite in the collection of these red bottles or orange bottles, next to the Patchouli Magnetic, which is so overwhelming and intense. This one you can tolerate and wear in the heat, even though I wear the Patchouli in the heat as well. But really awesome, and a compliment getter as well. It's Tuberose Astral from the house of Maison Crivelli. Then we're going to the house of Orto Parisi. It's Resvelium. Yes, I'm featuring this one because in the end, it's a really super intense citrus fragrance and really long lasting. And it has the idea of cannabis here. It's got a kind of a camphor, minty kind of idea. And even though they don't mention what the notes are, this is what I'm getting. I feel like I get grapefruit, I get rhubarb, I get cannabis, so it's citrusy. And of course, there's ambroxan and lots of it. Ambroxan, amber woods, and musk kind of an experience in the dry down. It's overdosed as well. So if you like the fragrances of Orto Parisi, you're going to really enjoy this one because his signature is there. The base notes is really, really intense and heavy, but it's quite zingy and fresh and spicy up top with the citrusy touches or grapefruity touches that I experience when I'm wearing it. Resvelium, let me know if you're familiar with that. All right, next up, going to the house of Xerjoff. This is 40 knots. Yes, I'm throwing in 3 Xerjoff fragrances here. I find them to be very long lasting. 40 knots is part of the Join the Club line of fragrances and never published the notes. But if you look online, you can find some notes or you can kind of smell them. When I wear this one, I get a smoky, incensey touch, but more the incense resin rather than a lot of smoke. But there's also a leatheriness here, sweet, honeyed, kind of syrupy, molassesy touch, and a light sea kind of, marine thing happening, which actually tones down the intensity of the fragrance. Sure, I'm not 100% sure this would be considered a summertime fragrance, but the fact that it has that kind of marine touch in here, which is really tolerable, I find it to be a great experience in the heat. This one might kind of challenge you if you're overwhelmed with these kind of notes, double check, but it's a great offering and a very long lasting offering as well. 40 knots from the house of Xerjoff. Next, going to the house of Tom Ford, it's Costa Azzurra Parfum. Costa Azzurra Parfum. I don't know what's going on with their new fragrance citrus release called Orange Taormina. When is that coming? It's supposed to have launched. It's already summer. And pretty soon, summer's going to be over and there's no Orange Taormina. It's supposed to launch in June. But this stuff is really, really super potent. I really love this version, the Parfum and the ACQUA, which is no longer. They've taken the freshness and intensified it. It's sea air, fresh aromatic notes, evergreens, lemons, citruses, deep woods, cypress, and oak wood. You have that kind of sea experience here, but it's a lot of more ambery. But it's kind of a fresh ambery experience. A lot of cypress in this. The cypress adds this kind of a green aromatic touch. It's also very, very woody and spicy and a really pleasure to wear in the summertime if you want something woody, spicy, a bit marine, and of course long lasting as well. So it's Costa Azzurra Parfum. Let me know if you're familiar with that. And then of course this one, I get great longevity with this one when I wear it. It's Torino 21 from the house of Xerjoff. And I really like its thick wear. It wears thick. It's almost like a concentrated lemon mint tea experience, which is what I've been mentioning ever since I wore this one and I reviewed it way back in 21. And I like the combo of the mint, the verbena, the musk, the lemons, basil, blackcurrant. It's slightly fruity, but very much super cozy with that kind of mint tea, lemon mint tea kind of a vibe it provides when you're wearing it. It's one of the best fragrances from Xerjoff, and I feel like it's also very popular. Torino 21, let me know if you're familiar with that. Then we're going to the house of Sospiro. This is Vibrato. And Vibrato and Kajal 3 are kind of similar ideas, but different directions. I find the Kajal to be a bit more creamy and the Sospiro to be a bit more dry, but still much more potent than Tigar. Tigar is a really great smell. I absolutely love it. But you've got a much more zingier version of it here in Vibrato. And it's super fresh and intense. You've got that grapefruit and ginger and ambery touches when it's drying down and aromatics and musks and things like that. Definitely really awesome fragrance. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then we're going to the house of Amarud. It's Silver Birch. This is definitely my favorite fragrance from this house. I absolutely love it. It's a fig fragrance, but super dense and intense. It's got papyrus here. There's figs, orange blossom, suede, vetiver, and cardamom. Yeah, it does get deep and intense when it's drying down, be warned, but these are kind of fragrances that are long-lasting, but with a lot of fresh notes. If you do just citruses and things like that, we have, issues with those not lasting. If you want long-lasting fragrances, you do want some deeper notes when it's drying down. And this is definitely one of the best fig fragrances. Absolutely love it. It's fig leaves, but it's almost like a combo of fig leaves with a little hint of fruitiness thrown in. You've got citrus notes in there, spices, and of course, woods as well. But it's a really awesome fragrance, totally perfect to wear in the summertime. Silver Birch from the house of Amarud. Let me know if you're familiar with that. And then we've got my third and final Xerjoff fragrance here. It's Accento Overdose. This is definitely one of my favorites and staple for the summertime. It really lasts a long time. It's super big and beefy, but also the kind of notes that are in here will not weigh you down. There's green notes here. There's fruits and pine and eucalyptus, jasmine, lily of the valley, rose, and balsams. So it acts very fresh, fruity, green, and floral. And then, of course, it gets ambery and balsamic when it's drying down. Super awesome fragrance. Really great projection. I absolutely love it. Definitely one of my favorites from Xerjoff. It's Accento Overdose. Let me know if you're familiar with that. I've been speaking a lot about this one. This is definitely a really solid offering from this house. It's Kumbawa Wood from Sensatio Paris. Let me know if you're familiar with that. It's a very zingy, lemony, pulpy experience. We've got lots of lemons here, ginger, cashmere wood, Kumbawa, which is Kefir lime, Ylang-Ylang, ozone, patchouli, amber vetiver, black pepper. The citruses in this smell so realistic, so juicy, so pulpy and thick. So it has great longevity and lingering power for a citrus, but it's a very deep experience. So if you like citrusy fragrances with some depth, amber, woods, and things like that in the dry down. But the type of citruses in here are very zingy, but not super tart and sour. There's a nice balance of sweetness in there. Super awesome to wear in the heat of summer. This is Kumbawa Wood from the house of Sensatio Paris. Then we're going to the house of Amouage. It's Search. Search is definitely an awesome release from this house as well. And I like the contrast in here. Citruses with incensey resinous notes. So it provides a depth to the citruses. There's also elemi here for it to intensify the lemony resinous touches of the fragrance. And it smells super awesome. It's a bit church-like, but lots of citruses. Maybe it's a church in a citrus grove or something, that kind of an idea, but really awesome. It eventually has some depth with woods and grassy, earthy notes as well, but super awesome fragrance from the house of Amouage. It's kind of unconventional, I guess, the idea of it, but it really works and it totally grows on you when you wear it. So it's Search from the house of Amouage. Then it's Energizer from Boadicea the Victorious. Super amazing fragrance from this house. It smells great. Realistic grapefruit, very zingy. I wouldn't call this similar to Vibrato or, the 3 or even Tigar. There's something about the fragrance here. It's realistic with the smell of the peel of grapefruit. That's what you get. You get the oiliness of it, the bitterness of it, and it smells super awesome. If you haven't tried this, please do, but it's grapefruit, vetiver, bergamot, oranges, lemons, and musk. It's a great longevity. It even shines further in the heat, and you smell amazing wearing it. So it's Energizer from the house of Boadicea the Victorious. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. Add a comment below. And then the 21st fragrance that I'm going to talk about, the last fragrance, it's Dolce Melodia from the house of Sospiro. Really awesome, really long-lasting. It's mostly floral notes. There's fruits here. There's a lot of citruses, ambery touches, and spices thrown in. Super awesome projection. Great longevity. This is a bit more potent than your typical fragrances, but if you can get past that intensity, you'll really enjoy this fragrance. It's definitely one of the best from this house. Still my number one. Absolutely love this one. And if you haven't tried it, please do. Let me know if you're a fan of Dolce Melodia. And that is my video for you guys today for super potent fragrances that are perfect to wear in the summer months. Let me know if your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you tried them? Add a comment below. And if you have any other recommendations for these type of fragrances, summer fragrances that are not super wimpy and light with just like a kind of ethereal, flowy, airy kind of notes that kind of disappear right away. Some fragrances that act fresh, that are with a lot of substance. Please let me know what they are. Add a comment below. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. And please don't forget to give me a thumbs up for this video to help the algorithm. See you guys later. Bye-bye.